Alright, time to make some enemies. Okay, I thought it would be a fun idea to make a quick tier list of HOI4 content creators. You won't see everyone here. I just like thought of some people and I included those. And I looked at another tier list, looked at the people I know from that, and then took it over to this one. So anyways, let's start. Also, by the way, this tier list goes like purely off of skill. I will put people into like C and D tier. I will be brutal, even though I like the people, okay? You know, I'm just rating off how good the person is. And let's start with Günther Fehlinger, and we can just put him into D tier. I don't even like, he's a cool guy, but I don't even know if he knows how to play the game, really. Usually he corpse people if I see it correctly, but yeah, I think that's pretty uncontroversial. Swinsball, I don't know the guy very well, but I have seen a little bit of his things, and I think he looks like a solid single player, I guess. So for this tier list, I will put him into C tier, but he might be a little bit better. I'm just not completely sure, so I will put him there for now. Yeah. So I saw Productions, this is, I think, and he makes some pretty interesting videos. Again, mostly single player centered, you know, which doesn't have to be bad. But I'm pretty sure he does a lot of suboptimal things. He does cool content anyways, but for that reason, I will put him into C tier. So Bokoen is the first multiplayer player that we have on this list, or like actively, you know, in real historical multiplayer games. That being said, I think the Boko and TFB games aren't that competitive, and TFB games in general aren't very competitive. So for this tier list sakes, I will put him into B tier because I'm not sure how he would like manage in a vanilla historical lobby. I think in TFB he's quite decent, but then again, TFB is not the most competitive mod, so I will just put him into B tier. Aldrahill, another guy who I don't know very well. I know that he is subscribed to me, and I know that he makes single player centered videos, but I haven't seen much of his content. He still looked okay, and like for like single player YouTubers that look okay, I will put them into C tier. And single player YouTubers that don't look okay, I will put into D tier. John Parker, I made a few collabs with him, very cool guy. And I actually recorded a video where he and me both talked about like opinions about different HOI4 things. And, you know, from what he was saying, he actually sounded kind of competent. I was kind of surprised. Because although he is a single player, it looks like the things he does, he at least took notice of a lot of multiplayer matters or things. For example, he knew that line artillery was the worst unit. He has like ideas about doctrines, that GBP and SFP are the best doctrines. So he seems pretty solid overall, so I will put him into B tier. This pigeon guy, I actually forgot his name, I'm sorry for that. He's my goat because back in the days, like him and 71 Cloaks, who actually isn't on the tier list, made like the most informative HOI4 content. That is obviously before I was on the stage. So we will put him into B tier. He seems to be more of a single player centered guy, but I'm sure that with his knowledge, he can also play multiplayer pretty solidly. So I will put him into B tier just because I think he's not as active anymore, and most of his knowledge is probably a bit outdated and a little bit single player centered. And with that, we go to Dankus Mimicus, who, despite all the hate, is an S tier player. I know people don't like that. But he is pretty good in a like wide variety of mods. He plays Oak, or forget that, he doesn't play Oak, but he plays TFB and is probably one of the best TFB players because that's his main mod. He is able to play in vanilla lobbies, in competitive vanilla hist lobbies. Not very well. I wouldn't put him at the top of S tier, but he definitely deserves to be in S tier, just because he managed to like beat himself or fight through a wide variety of mods and always manages to perform at least pretty decently. So I will put him into S tier for that alone. G Marcus, another single player centered video guy, but like he actually seems, from what I saw, like he seems to be one of the less game knowledgey single players like YouTubers, you know. He makes very entertaining content nonetheless, but I think I will put him into like mid C tier, maybe a little bit over ISOR production, just because I don't know much about either of these two. So Sam Zero, former best HOI4 player in the world. He won a HOI4 Commanders tournament. He hasn't played much multiplayer recently, especially. He's on like the finals grind, but he is a good player nonetheless. So. But due to him, like, I don't actually know how good he would do, like, in a competitive multiplayer vanilla lobby right now. But due to him having, like, a lot of game knowledge, he still easily maxes into high A tier. But I don't think he quite like cuts S tier for me at the moment. It's this burger, a legit burger or however it's called. Pretty cool guy. He makes a lot of speed runs. I was actually watching it because one of my first videos was a speed run in HOI4. You should go check that out. Like, I tried to beat the game as fast as possible. In retrospect, it was a shit video. Don't check it out. But it was so he makes a lot of speed runs, like where he beats the game pretty fast. So he has a pretty developed single player meta. So for that reason, I will put him into decent B tier because he doesn't have a multiplayer knowledge. I'm pretty sure he would like suck in a pure vanilla his lobby or something like that, or even a TFB his lobby, or an Oak his lobby. I don't think he would do very well. But just simply due to him having like all of his single player knowledge, I just can't put him into C tier. I just don't think that works. Sejosvak, or however you spell that. This guy seems to have decent game knowledge. He and me actually did a video on the same exploit a few days after each other. That's where I know him from, but I haven't watched too much of his content. He makes some pretty interesting fact videos, but I think he's also mainly single player focused, so I'll put him into a high C tier. Seems to make pretty good content. And oh my god, the next one is Grisha Putin. Okay, for those of you that have watched the 7v1, you'd probably say he's I mean, it's fair to say that he is one of the best players in the world, for sure. But his expertise isn't in that many different mods. Nowadays, he mainly plays Hearts of Oak. I know he also played in the HOI4 International. I'm not sure how good he would do in a vanilla HOI4 lobby or like even an MSB lobby. His game knowledge definitely isn't bad, and his micro is very good. He also is pretty good in all of these modern day mods, as you could see, he 7v1'd us in TFR. I think like there was also this Ukraine war mod in which he was also really good. Which is kind of like a niche untapped by most his players or competitive players in general, because most players don't play that. Alone for that reason, he has to go into into S tier. But due to him not playing such a large variety of mods, I will put him into mid S tier. Okay, next of all, it's me. I will have to. Oh my god. Okay, this is a bit of an ego move, but I will put myself on the top of S tier. Okay, that is just simply due to me performing very well in 1v1 tournaments, okay? And I also play a large variety of mods. I did play TFB tournaments. I did play... I co-opted a bit in Oak. I am pretty good in Vanilla and in 1v1s. Overall, if you look at the consistent track record since like the Commanders and Conflict 1v1 tournaments I've been, I'm pretty sure that I'm the highest earning player in this game. Maybe after Nave. But, nonetheless, I got second in the HOI4 International. I won a great game, okay? So I think, all in all considered, from competitive HOI4, I think I deserve to be on top of S tier. At least from the people that are here right now. So, Tommy K, another interesting person, who I think many people would say is very bad, but I actually don't think he's very bad. I think Tommy K is fine. Obviously, a lot of his knowledge is outdated. He believes in things like linearity. That alone means like he can't make it into B tier because I think the people in D tier have at least a pretty good vanilla knowledge even. I do think that Tommy K will cut high C tier just simply due to him having like so much long-term knowledge of HOI4. Like even though he has some pretty big gaps in his knowledge. Also I think he's quite adaptable, honestly. Like if you just see in how many different mods he performs and plays, he's not very good in any of the mods he plays, but he plays so many mods that, alone that just makes him an above average player, so I will put him into high C tier. Discard Pixel, I think, is actually slightly better than Tommy K. Also, I wouldn't put into B tier, I think. He makes interesting guides and shit. But all of them aren't very meta, but they're okay always. Like, it's not too bad. So I put him into high C tier as well, like a little bit better than Tommy K, especially in multiplayer games. He's like very Road to 56 centered. So I think that's fine. Okay, next we have Nave Life, who is probably one of the best HOI4 players. He definitely cuts in terms of, like, in the top tier, I think you have to look at tournament performance. And, sadly for Grisha, he was not able to participate in a lot of tournaments due to circumstances. But I think if you look at tournament performance, Nave has to cut it into very high S tier. Okay, like I don't know everything he participated in, but like Nave has been like probably the most OG tournament player there is. He played in the very first HOI4 International. That must have been a long time ago. I remember watching that. I was a kid. and he didn't play very well, but like when he played in a lot of 1v1 tournaments afterwards, he always played pretty decently. He even won one. He has a lot of HOI4 earnings for sure. Also, he plays a wide variety of mods. Like, I mean, not actively, but he did perform in a wide variety of mods. Like, he performed in TFB, in Hearts of Oak. And Hearts of Oak isn't, it's just one mod, but it has such a long history that I think, just due to that, he can go into S tier. Yeah, so with all of that said, I think he deserves S tier. And Feedback Gaming is next. I kind of like him. Even though all of the controversy surrounding him. But just pure gameplay wise, he isn't that good. I'm pretty sure I will put him under Tommy K even, and Sashazak, and even Aldril and J Marcus, and we'll put him at bottom of C tier. So what he did is like he just sometimes has like some videos with like very ape concepts. Like I remember seeing like some fuck-ass armored car video where he was making like an armored car division, and then like in the middle of the game he kept adding more and more armored cars and says like I don't know, and he said some bullshit. He's definitely not the best, okay, but he isn't the worst either. I put him into low C tier. Bittersteel, interesting person. I think Bittersteel makes some guides as well, a lot of guides actually. And he actually takes a lot of time for his guides, like as far as I'm aware. Like they look decently enough, so I put him into high C tier. I don't watch too much of his shit, so I don't know. Torier is another guy whom I just don't watch like a lot from. I think he's a single player, like achievement centered kind of YouTuber. I'm not sure, so I put him into mid C tier. And Alex the Rambler, I don't know much about. Again, I'm pretty sure that he started this entire like safe game thing, right? Like he's famous for that, like send this to Alex the Rambler. So I will put him into a high C tier because I respect the single player dedication and the safe game saving dedication. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and see you another time. Bye bye.